and I got 300 of them in just Greensboro, and that still ain't enough.
I got a lot here too. I got a lot here too, but there's a lot of frequent like gaps in the middle of every node.
The
So
problem is it
that's
only works
horrible.
if it only works in a walkable city. Outside of walkable cities, it's irrelevant. Yeah, and once again, we go back to the same thing. You got you got an eye makeup brush and you got a brush to put on your concealer. One of them covers more. I don't care about it because it, bro. I literally. So in my lifestyle, I am in a walkable city scenario like once a year. Wha- DC is where you take off walking, and when you get where you're going, you show up with no shoes. If you if your shoes don't wear out, you'll get robbed. So either way, you come with no shoes.
Mhm. Oh my God, that sounds great, man. I love when people say that.
Yeah, to me, Band Five, they, they should have already been playing with Band Five a whole lot more, in my opinion. Bro,
Right. Well,
they've got
I've
like
noticed.
70 megahertz of low band in that market, and they only deploy what a total of was it, a total of
Well,
40 of it. They deploy half
from,
of their low band in my market.
from what I really noticed from them here, specifically in Atlanta, as soon as you go out of the N77 grid, your N5 is also gone. Yeah, they're basically deploying it together. So like anywhere outside the city, it's just band 66, band 13 towers. Literally.
Which was lies. It was all lies. It's lies. That's a fanboy lie. The fanboys kept quoting this one touch crap, and it's just not true. And it's getting even worse. Well, we were just told the other day about how they're not swapping out one of the radios, and one of those radios that they're keeping up there, even while they're deploying the DoD and C band, that radio can't even do it on. So they're going to still have to go back again. Like, it's they're just adding the mid band on, and they're not upgrading the other stuff that needs to be upgraded. So
and it's still not being used here. Yeah, there's some places where I'm
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah, here lately it's been backpedaling the performance. Yeah, they're not even showing me capacity anymore. And there's no games going on either, by the way, because that ain't shit. Ain't nothing going on right now. Well, I do got one site I want to go back to. If I'm actually on my way to an outage right now, but if I get that outage done, I have a site. I have an N77 site that literally does 1.8 and 1.9. I haven't been back there in a while, and I want to see what it's doing ever since I've noticed Verizon seems to still down. I want to know what that site is doing. I'm not, well, here's my thing, right? I've always noticed that Verizon sucks at downloading from like the App Store. I've always noticed that. I feel like they don't prioritize it. In my opinion, in my market, everybody downloads from the App Store faster than Verizon, and I mean Apple App Store and Google App Store. Verizon is the slowest in both, regardless of details. That's what I. This is what I've noticed. Now, that's been forever. That was LTE. That is 5G. That's always been that way. For some reason, I think it's tired of that data. Yeah. What's
Or well, or at the same time, people aren't using enough data to actually get the ultra wideband logo to trigger. Because when I live stream, I don't even connect to the ultra wideband half of the time because of that.
so?
Yeah,
But the thing is, too, I've noticed like Fast.com when we first started getting first started getting UW, whether it was millimeter wave or not. If you ran a Fast.com, the throughput was immediate. I notice now, dude, it will literally sit at like 3 megs. It sits at 3 meg for like literally 15, 20 seconds, and then it goes to full speed. It's like, what the heck is going on? Yes. I just did it yesterday. Yeah. Yeah. It's almost like it's doing a checklist of all the devices on the site and going, okay, you can have it. Instead of just letting you have it like it was earlier. Yeah, it's what it feels like anyway. It's very delayed. Remember what I told you the other day? I feel like places where Verizon has a lot of band too, it is a different network. It's day and night. It's absolutely day and night different, bro. The network performs totally different when they have a lot of band two. When they don't have band two, the network seems to me that it's very, very picky about giving out data. It's just how it's saying. Exactly. There's lots of band two over there. There's lots of band two over there. It was great. Band two in Eastern Carolina is amazing on Verizon. I was able to lock onto band two by itself and be getting 130, 140. It was amazing. 20 megahertz out there in Carolina Beach, Wilmington area. Over here, 5 megahertz in some places, and in some places you get like 5 plus 5. And it is vital. You're better, you're daggone near better off on band 13. So here's my question: so we know they had to divest. Who got that spectrum, and did they deploy it yet, or are they just sitting on it? The Hawaii spectrum? The Hawaii spectrum. So what I remember, like Hawaii is a nightmare for everybody. Because nobody else can
You
even
are
deploy
going
like the
through
C-band. We think what I
no
understand.
radio, no
Not,
radio. You're going through the matrix right now. You might want to read say that.
I'm on the best network in America. Okay, don't you dare insult the Verizon brethren. This is the best you can do, sir. This is not. It can't be done better than this right here. And matter of fact, this ain't even really happened. We're making this up, by the way. It's not really happening. There's no such thing as bad coverage on Fox. No such thing. No, except for T-Mobile. No, nobody else could deploy midband there, from what I understand, because the because military zone. Is that not correct? Is anybody in the comments? Anybody remember? That's what I understand. Nobody can deploy, so that divestiture makes sense because nobody else basically stands a chance on that island. And I think that was the same thing quoted by what's his name? Is it Lawrence that lives out there? He was explaining why he had T-Mobile was because they were the only ones with capacity on that island. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Kawhi, man, like Kawhi Leonard. From what I understand, you can't do C-band out there. From what I understand. Oh, oh man, I'm on the business network. It's not even real. It's not. It's not. It's not real. Oh man. All right, 1 second. Let me come back. I'm gonna come back in on the boost. Matter of fact, I'm gonna make sure I'm parked in the same spot before I do it.
Hey, Keon, Keon, give me a second, real quick. Your stream is choppy as hell on YouTube for some reason, and people are actually mentioning it in the comments too. So I know it's not. I'm not the only one. Something's going on with the stream, and yeah, just to bring you to that attention because it doesn't sound good at all. It's cutting off a lot. They can't hear you, but I also noticed the stream is like cutting out in a lot. So places where I hear no radio fine too, it's still chopping off a little on that side.
All right. Can you hear me, fellas?
Yep.
I'm fishy on the boost T-Mobile sim.
Okay, the stream seems to be fine now,
Fine.
but now I just noticed that you're the one that they can't hear. You're the only one now.
I hear. Where is this freaking amplifier? Stepping into darkness.
T-Mobile has too much spectrum. Just remember that. Competition isn't good.
Mm,
Hello,
That's where I worked on that leak at. Not long.
hello.
It's like you coming live from the bathroom.
Oh crap.
Yeah, I can hear you on the stream now.
Okay.
You gotta
You're
echo.
good
So
now.
kill one
Give
of
me a
your
second.
feeds. You
About to
got
do
one
that
too
now.
many mics hot.
How about now?
Community tech is not on Verizon, trust me. Saying you're on.
Believe me,
Just
I'm not on
saying.
Verizon.
That's only no radio. Well, was.
I have a Verizon line, but I don't use it like that. I I have to do too much real work.
I feel like my Verizon is literally like good for like 7 months out of the year, and the rest of the year they're letting me down.
All right, so
Like,
Gene, Alvin, hey, thank y'all for letting me know. My bad. I started off. That's stupid. I tried to go back to StreamYard and messed it all up. I go back to StreamYard and it just jacks all up again. Let's see. TJ, what's going on?
Yeah, my bad, I
Gene,
couldn't tell you earlier because I was not looking at the stream until now.
I'm glad you said something before I go 45 minutes or an hour into it.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. I finally fixed it. Thank y'all. But but look, the thing is, especially like right now, and Fierce Wireless kind of picked up on this, is that T-Mobile is getting a lot of series of wins back to back, right? Like, don't get me wrong, T-Mobile is very loud and boisterous about what they do. You know what I mean? You know, every time Mike Severs takes a poo, it's being reported about. Like, oh, today was a big log. Man, T-Mobile's network is great because he took a poo. Great, but the thing is it's a series of small wins. Like they finally get the auction 108. They lighten up more 5G. They're constantly in the news. They're constantly in the headlines. And what does that do? That has I call it a off springboard effect. AT&T sitting over there going, man, we just waiting on these dual band radios, and maybe we might be able to do one touch one day. And then Verizon goes, we got millimeter wave. We're in there, but they're not. But they don't make any noise, and so people don't really think they're doing anything. That's how I look at it. People don't think you're doing anything, they're not going to pay attention to you.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
what
hey, I
is
mean,
it?
it's great to stand under a pole and get some 3.2 gigabit speeds, and then you walk away from it, and then you're just getting like 20.
Which is why I don't do. I try not to do any testing near actual cell site. I personally don't want to be near one. Like the only reason why one of mine has a small cell for Verizon in it is because I wanted to get close to one of the entrances, one of the entrances to the stadium in Greenville. But guess what? It was a small cell right there, so it was just invulnerable. But I'm not gonna go find the license for 15 cell sites and go park in front of them. That's not a real world test. I went to the mall, and guess what? There was like 4 cell sites around the mall, but they're all pointing directly at the mall. So I want to see what the cell coverage look like at the mall. That's where the people are. You know, if the people if it's a bad situation for the people, it don't matter if the cell site's right there. It can be a bad situation. But yeah, here they talking about T-Mobile boasts as a lead for the next couple years. You know, early on when I first joined into this community, everybody said like, "Oh, well, T-Mobile has a 2-year head start." Man, we're 4 years into a 2-year head start now.
It's so much of a head start that even AT&T probably has more DoD and more C-band here than Verizon somehow.
Not well, Verizon got the biggest chunk out of the C-band auction, but I think that it really is market dependent on how much they're going to invest.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
know, that's
yeah,
how
I don't
I
think.
mean, you have to visit multiple different markets to really see, oh, okay, this is not a hard area to cover, so why is it not performing as well, right?
Mhm.
You know, I went to Vegas. T-Mobile wasn't covering the strip, but the rest of the area they did pretty good coverage. I was seeing low band and mid band on standalone, but there was no standalone at Circus. You see what I'm saying? Like why where the people at it should be standalone, but it wasn't. And come to find out, I think it was because all those events they were getting ready to have. I guess you wanted to really work on the network at the strip inside of Las Vegas. That's what I perceive.
I mean,
I
they're also lacking DAS systems in there, so
well, DAS system. You know what? Here's the thing: DAS systems are predominantly dependent on the company that operates the venue. Like, take the Super Bowl. Verizon didn't deploy millimeter wave and C band at the stadium. It's done by another entity, which they deploy it for all the carriers.
mhm.
They don't want look understand they don't want Verizon, you know, getting a prime spot location for cellular, and then T-Mobile goes up there and duct tapes their antennas to the Raptors, and then it falls down and hits one of their Patreons on the head. They don't want that, so they do it themselves.
But it doesn't look like they're trying to push it out either way. In other words,
But no, but the thing is, it's going to be good. It's the coverage is going to be good for everybody. It doesn't matter who you are or what company you're running. You're running through somebody else's distributed system. They've already mapped out what the cellular angles are going to be for, you know, the propagation, all of it. The only thing they're doing is sending Verizon and T-Mobile and AT&T a bill. Hey, your people were on our network. Here's the bill. Have a nice day. Plus, it doesn't really behoove them because here's the thing: the stadium, like if you ever go, I know you've been to other stadiums. Stadiums don't get used unless there's an event. Well, are
yeah.
you going to invest in a whole bunch of sales sites inside of a stadium that is only going to see action? You know, during the football season, maybe a concert, but the rest of the time,
No,
the parking lot is vacant. I mean, the
they
parking
don't
lot is
even.
completely vacant. You don't want to be sitting there trying to add capacity and using and wasting money for a couple of events per year. That's crazy. That'd be crazy. But yeah, so this other one is and I don't know, no radio. I don't know if you was still in the room when this popped up. Do you think that the satellite potential coverage is going to make T-Mobile better or worse?
Don't think it matters
Why?
because of where it's going to be used.
It's going to be used
Okay,
in
bro.
rural America.
Okay. Look, bro. Let's be real, right? Ain't nobody going to switch. Okay. The people who are going to be in those places where you would need satellite to fix your coverage, no one's going to switch from having terrestrial coverage to satellite coverage to use it in that area. I'm sorry. It's not going to happen.
Hold on one second. Let me pull this up. Let me pull it up.
They're not going to gain any customers by having satellite coverage, is the point I'm trying to make, which is why I said it doesn't matter.
Well, okay. So what about the conversation I've always heard is, well, they don't have any coverage where I live at, and they live out in the sticks.
But then
Or
don't pick them. I mean, most of those places, bro, are going to get regular coverage. These places that satellite coverage is going to matter, it's going to literally be like places no humans travel, like on a regular basis. Like, and if a human does come through there, they're probably like coming through there they're probably in the area for 15 minutes because they're driving somewhere else.
right. Or what
Who's
Man,
going to
about
even
switch
or what
networks?
about when I was driving down the freeway and then I hit that stretch of 95 where T-Mobile dropped or was acting up.
But did it matter that much? Because what? 45 seconds later, you were out of it.
Right, but here's the thing.
So my
A lot
point
of
is this:
people.
if you're already, but here's the thing. Okay, so that's another thing. That satellite coverage probably ain't gonna work in your car while you're doing 70 either, sir.
True,
It's gonna go
maybe,
when you stop.
maybe.
And let's just be real. For people who cry the emergency game, well, hey, even I can take a random phone out of a drawer and call 911.
That's true, but you know what? You know why that's
So
able
it's
to do it, right?
irrelevant.
It grabs whatever
Another
available
carrier,
signal.
which is also why the emergency argument don't make sense.
Well, AT&T wasn't able to call 911 for that outage. But
Yeah, but that's because existing systems fail. All I'm saying is I don't think it matters, dude. I think it's a freaking cool feature that doesn't matter.
oh,
But because the guy who's out in the Mojave all the time already has a line that works. He's not gonna switch to T-Mobile because there's satellite coverage now. That's what I'm saying.
right.
Not now.
I mean, the way that the conversation was kind of going, they were saying that SpaceX and that cellular connectivity would be an add-on, and I would be like, that's the stupidest thing that T-Mobile would do.
But once again,
to
if you got a person who just
coverage,
think about it, not really. If a person just wants T-Mobile, like that's their favorite company, and they happen to be the Mojave Desert hiker, then they might pay for the add-ons. Who cares? It doesn't affect the majority of us. 99.99999% of all Americans will never use that access, which is why I say it doesn't matter. If we can argue that millimeter wave isn't as useful as it's put up to be, we can certainly argue that this satellite coverage is not as useful as it's going to be put up to be.
Well,
because you're more likely to be on millimeter wave than that satellite coverage.
Hey, you would be right up to a point, right? Like the area I was at this supercharger when I was charging up, and I did a video because all three cell carriers coverage was bad except for AT&T, and you know T-Mobile was decent, but it wasn't like the T-Mobile that I'm used to. You know what I mean? And but the thing is it would have did great because there's nothing around, 20 miles in each direction of 95. I mean, it's all country roads.
And I'm betting that terrestrial coverage will be there soon. So it wouldn't
probably
matter.
will.
That's what I'm saying.
I equated it as a supplemental coverage. Like they would add it to it while they would start filling in the gaps. Like, we need a solution now, and SpaceX provides the solution that we can use at the near term, but in the long term.
So what you're saying is everybody's right about it. This is T-Mobile finding a way not to do something for a long time.
Well, you could say that. You could kind of say that.
Look at Keon bad mouthing T-Mobile. Look at that.
No,
but saying that is not a good thing. That is not a good thing. That's what I'm getting at.
No. I'm saying that if you already know it's going to take you a good long while to do something, need a stop. You need a stopgap in between.
No, I say keep spending your money and get it done. Stop trying to find street codes. So
if you get a flat tire, right, and you got to put the donut on, what is it? Donut or nothing, right? Or you going to be on the side of the road waiting?
Smart people have a full size spare. You see my point? Smart people have a full size. My car has a full size spare in it. So I don't know what I'm just saying. I don't do dumb things like that. If I'm 700 miles from home, you already know you can't ride on the donut for 700 miles.
That's true.
So you know what I'm saying, like it's irrelevant to me. Smart people do things a smart way. If you here's the problem, right? If you have an issue to fix, right? Anybody would tell you who fixes things for a living. You can do that. You can spend hours trying to get around doing something and still end up having to do it. So why not just do it in the first place instead of wasting money trying to figure out how not to do it just to turn around and have to do it anyway? It don't make sense. You're turning a 45-minute job into a week-long job because you're just trying to find a way to shortcut out of it. You end up wasting time. That's how I feel about it. If you're gonna fix something, fix it the right way. It may take long, it may suck, but just do it. Stop doing side missions, getting off track, and then tell me that this is supposed to be a benefit to me. You figuring out how not to do something does not benefit. It's just you trying to figure out a way to cheat me out of my money while you pretend you're offering me real service. That's how I feel
Uh,
about it.
Oh no, I see where you're going at.
If they want coverage. See, so what I'm getting at is this. This deal should have been the other way around.
Which way?
See, Mobile should be offering backup services to SpaceX, not the other way around. Let's just be real. The SpaceX should be able to fall over to the same network.
Wow.
Why are you
are
out here
you?
trying to become Elon's little boy? I can't say what I want to say. Elon's little female
Yeah,
dog.
yeah. I know what you're getting at, but I don't know,
We are.
man. I feel like it's a uncharted territory, and right now, since they're doing the testing, we don't really know exactly. I mean, what's being reported is saying like, oh, it's 17 megabits per second for the whole cell site that's overhead, right? But that means that once you start getting people on the network, and if you got more than 3 or 4 people trying to pull data on 17 megabits per second, you're going to clog that up pretty fast.
You're
You
not as
can take.
fast as you think. Not as fast as you think.
I mean,
Let's not forget 3G, sir.
Yeah,
The most you
true.
could pull through it was like 15.
That's true. That's true.
Not 3.5G, but 3G.
But I
We
mean,
had
like,
hundreds of people on
here's
that.
the thing, I'm not surfing the web while driving 70, 80 miles an hour on the freeway. So my whole thing was I want to
That's
make
why
sure
the
that
megabits don't matter to me
yeah.
then. The
So
megabits don't
that's
matter
why
then.
the thing is like my video call with you, I would want to make sure that would not drop at all.
Well, a
That's what I
video call,
want. I
that's
don't want to
5
drop at
meg.
all.
Well, didn't have them build a cell site. Stop playing.
Hey, I feel you. I feel you.
Tell them stop playing. Tell them stop playing with your emotions and build a cell site.
But look, here's the thing. I think that in combination of them trying, because there's another article that talks about SpaceX. So let me pull this up too.
You know what I feel what T-Mobile's biggest fault is nowadays? It's not to me, it's not the building their network because I'm happy with what they're doing, at least in my market. I feel like they're
Yeah.
doing all the right things in my market. What their problem now is that they've gotten this habit where they want to be first all the time. And I feel like this is just another freaking first.
What, doing
That's what it
satellite?
feels. Yeah, pushing it like it's supposed to be some great thing. It's just another, see, we deployed it widely first. That's what it feels like when you look at it from the outside. It's another first that doesn't really matter.
I
That's
don't
the
know,
problem.
man. Hey, look, when you gotta physically put hardware up, I don't think being first really matters as much.
Okay, it's kind of like if a girl's like freaking hot, right? But
Yeah,
she thinks she's ugly, right? So she decides she wants to be loose as a goose, and let all the boys get a ride, right? At
right.
some point, she has to realize that she's hot and stop trying to please everybody. T-Mobile needs to realize they're hot and just focus on being great and stop worrying about all these public publicity stuff and trying to tell everybody how great they are. At some point,
But
you
you know
have to
what?
stop.
But you know what? I think that if it's already built into your pedigree to end up being that way, it's hard to stop. Like
Well, that ain't my
the
problem, but
whole
it's gonna be theirs.
oh
It's gonna be
yeah.
their
I mean,
problem in the long run.
here's the thing: when you go from a couple thousand to like almost 1 million subs a year, and it equates to the fact that you've been overly aggressive by bugging people. Do you stop bugging people, or do you
Well,
keep
I
bugging them until
no,
you
just
start seeing
bug.
diminishing returns?
No, what I'm saying is stop bugging. You don't have to stop bugging people, but you don't need a new thing to bug with all the time. Barack bugging with the same freaking trope for the last 25 years, and they still here, ain't they?
True. Can you hear me
Verizon
now?
didn't need 15 new firsts. They didn't need 15 new firsts to stay relevant, is my point. That's all I'm saying. Sometimes you can just be great. Bro, think about this, bro. Mike Tyson is still out here, greatest of all time. He had to prove nothing. You don't need a new championship fight every year for people to remember how great he is.
Man, but he's doing TikToks and stuff showing how fast he still is.
Yeah, but he ain't doing it every damn 6 months talking about his uncarrier moves. He's just out here being great. He's just being great. He don't need to explain.
Yeah, hey, he's getting ready to fight Logan Paul, which he's going to destroy him.
That's for money, so I get it. I'm with Wayne on this. what's understood don't have to be explained. You understand?
Right. Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's, what's understood don't need to be explained. It's just understood. They
But
need to
yeah,
start
like
focusing on first. You know what they need to start focusing on? Being winning root metrics. Not because I believe root metrics, but because if that'll be the final draw to shut everybody up, that should be their goal.
I
It's
don't think
okay.
they'll
Look,
ever.
all these
I
years
don't think
we're
they're gonna
getting
ever
mocked.
win root metrics, man.
Well, I'm saying play the game, whatever that game then. That's all I'm saying. Show you can do it too. Show I can do all this other stuff and I can do that too. Then we'll have something to celebrate. But then we keep like, look, they playing your game and their own game and they winning both. What do you say now? That's how I look at it.
True. That's true. That's true.
And the only way they're gonna win root metrics, we already know it, is they're gonna have to get out there and get that coverage finished.
Yeah. Hey,
That's gonna be the
look.
first step to it.
The thing is like the question. My question is this: is I see holes in Verizon's coverage. So what is
Exactly.
good coverage? So my thing
Well,
is what is good coverage then? Because what I
matching.
don't
Just
see
they need
I
to just
don't
match.
see
All they
what
gotta do is match. All they gotta do is match Verizon. Because remember, Verizon has one by default
right.
because of lack of competition. So if you just match Verizon, there's no more Verizon winning by default.
Well, look,
Very simple.
Stony Creek, Virginia, showed that T-Mobile outshined Verizon at a truck stop.
Understood.
So my thing is, hey, if I hit these different points, at what point do you have the correct coverage there?
Okay, I'll give you an example. I need another example.
Uh-huh.
Is Floyd Mayweather arguably the greatest boxer of all time? Arguably. I didn't say your opinion. I said arguably.
On paper, he is the greatest of all time.
And what did everybody say about him? Why they begrudgingly have to admit that? Why do they have to begrudgingly admit that?
Because he haven't lost.
Why hasn't he lost?
Do you
Because
want my professional opinion or my personal
No,
opinion?
well, both of them should be the same. Otherwise, something's wrong with you. Both of your answers should be the same for both of those statements, sir.
Oh,
No, why is it why we don't give him the respect? Because he has chosen to fight his that being
you're breaking up, sir.
Matrix again.
he has always had a career where he's always been technical, he's never been dangerous. Would you agree?
Yes. He doesn't
What they
swing
say
for the
about him is
fences.
what? He's not knocking people out, he's not doing that. But what he's doing is he's literally just playing by the rules, right?
Right.
All righty. So what can we say about Verizon? Verizon has always played by the rules. They've never been dangerous. They've always played by the rules. The closest they got to being dangerous was millimeter wave.
That was the most reckless I've ever seen the company.
Exactly, right? So
That
what does
was like the most
on paper
and reckless that I've ever seen Verizon was when it came to millimeter wave.
So what I'm saying is on paper they're the greatest of all time, but they've never been dangerous. It's the same scenario. So T-Mobile and Verizon are opposite. The people who like what Verizon does wishes T-Mobile would do more of that. And people that don't like what Verizon does wish they would do more T-Mobile stuff. And what I'm saying is at some point you have to show your other side. It's time for T-Mobile to stop being flashy and to start being more technical. It's time. That's the only way you can change anybody's mind about them who wants technical.
But you need the money to be able to start fighting the technical fight.
What's the thing? You're making it sound like they have to do this in 1 year.
No.
They don't have to be 1 year. You know what T-Mobile has to do to silence the haters? All they have to literally do is put their head down for like 2 years and just build. They don't even talk.
Well, they're not going to do that.
But that's the problem. So to say, for example, the same reason why, like me, I give all networks equal hate, right?
Yeah. Oh, I know.
But I know why people hate each network. I understand why. People like me hate Verizon because I feel they're overhyped.
Yeah.
Most people hate T-Mobile because T-Mobile is overhyped. Let's just be real, right? So okay. So if T-Mobile's overhyped in the advertising world, Verizon is overhyped in the reputational world. They're both overhyped somewhere. All it takes to change the narrative about you is to be different. If T-Mobile would have just get quiet for a few years and just built the heck out of coverage, aka cut a couple $100 million out of the advertising budget, and just build like crazy, and just silent ninja murder. One
But here's the
time,
thing,
it
though,
would
radio.
change the narrative. It would change
But
the narrative about this.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. That the way that I understand exactly where you're coming from with it. But my
I know that.
question is this. My question is this, right? Is you're trying to grow as a company or trying to get into people's mindset, right? You can't get into people's mindset when you're quiet. Like,
They don't. But that's the
hey,
point. That's the point where I think you're
closed
lost.
mouths don't get fed.
I think here's the problem, though, Keon. There's a group of people they're never going to get if they don't do this. Is the point I'm trying to make.
That's true. I mean,
How
the thing
long do
is
you
you could always
ignore
come back
that
around
other
and come
group?
get them people.
Just like we said the same thing about Verizon. How
Yeah.
long could Verizon ignore the price problem with their network? The price.
Well, they
problem.
tried.
They had to stop, didn't they?
Yes.
They had to stop ignoring it. And look what happened. They started back growing. T-Mobile at some point is going to have to ignore a certain part of that thing as well to grab the rest of those customers. They're going to eventually saturate the customer base that exists for what they're selling.
Right.
The question is, do you wait till your milk goes bad and then decide you want to pivot? Or do you go ahead and pivot?
Is that cheese curls? I didn't put cheese curls in my milk.
That's all. That is all I'm saying. I feel like if they stay on this train too long, the milk's gonna go bad, and then they're gonna be lost talking about, well, why did everybody stop? Well, because you didn't change.
Then you could turn the milk into butter, sir. Look, you got to pivot.
Verizon couldn't take too long to do it, and neither can T-Mobile. Is the point. They both have to find some happy median somewhere in the middle. Because meanwhile, you got AT&T over here not doing terrible, and they're the quietest of everybody, and they're not doing terrible. So it's proven that it's not sudden death to be quiet.
That's true. That's true.
That's all I'm saying.
Hey, year over year, AT&T has shown very, very good growth numbers. So,
and are they doing a 10,000 first? Are they like, look, we did this first? Are they boasting about millimeter wave or mid-band? No.
Do you know what's funny? Like the same trajectory that T-Mobile's on, AT&T's on also. Yeah, because they partner up with a space company to do low Earth orbit satellite cell coverage. But they never really talked about it.
Exactly my point.
AT&T
said they coming back like Jesus. Okay, they said they coming back like Jesus, like a thief in the night. Your mother could appreciate that one.
Oh yeah, I appreciate that one.
No man knows the day nor the hour. Okay.
AT&T said we coming back though. Just remember, the reckoning is coming.
That's all they're saying. They're going to slow roll it because they have proven that you don't need a bunch of first. Look at 5G. Yes, they did. They did the 5G scandal, and you know what? I think they learned a lesson from that, and that's why they've been quiet ever since.
Do we think they really learned a lesson from that?
Yeah, because they stopped talking.
I don't really think
how many
really
AT&T sales reps were telling people that was really 5G? Like legit telling everybody that crap was 5G.
Hey, I remember you telling me that you were talking to somebody and it's like, I got 5G on my phone. He's like, that's not real.
A co-worker swore to me up and down that his iPhone 11 was 5G.
He said 5G.
He said, yeah, it's just waiting for them to turn on the 5G, but the phone can do it. And in some places, you already get the 5G, but the phone's 5G. The guy at the store told me so. I think the guy at AT&T knows better.
Hey, look, no radio. I had that same thing where when I went back home, so, obviously I pay attention to what goes on in the cell industry, but I heard my brother talking to my father, and he was talking about how, like, oh, yeah, they're going to start turning on 5G in this area, and this is U.S. Cellular. And I busted out laughing. I busted out laughing. I said, what? A dead company going to start deploying 5G? No, that's not happening. He was like, you don't know what you're talking about. That's what the story rep said. And I'm like, the story rep lied to you.
So my message I want to give on the whole scenario, how we always have this T-Mobile, Verizon run around in the community And the
Yes.
message I want to give everybody is that none of this matters. It's not
Oh,
real. None of it matters.
but
You,
nobody.
you
Then what
if
fun would I have?
if what's my point? You're having fun beating the heck out of a dead horse. I mean, at some point you're a necrophiliac.
But no. But here's the thing. It's. I like to find out which direction and what's coming down the pipeline when it
There is
comes to
no different
technology.
directions. That's been the same directions for all of these companies for the last 5 years. There has been no major direction changes. No,
Well,
think
it's
about this, Keon. No sooner than Verizon introduces lower, cheaper plans, they turn around and put fees on all the old plans just to get the
yeah,
money back.
yeah.
So they didn't change. You know what they did? They did the Kevin Hart. See, the way my account is set up, I got to get the money from these old customers.
Uh-huh.
I got it in my checking, but I got to get it to my savings, and then
Shame.
Verizon was like, "See, look, we can compete in prices, and then hey, look, here's some fees."
Hey. We don't count. They don't count the fees. They don't add to the fees in your bill except when you need to
So
pay the bill.
so they didn't do anything new, bro. They just moved the money around to another account, dude.
Shame.
They tried to calculate, and they was like, okay, how can we get out of paying for these accounts with all these perks on them?
Oh, hey, they just went on ahead and just start charging me for the perks. That's kind of what they look. I got that. I saw that email after you showed it to me. You told me about it, and then I went back and looked, and it's basically like $4 for me to keep my perks.
Yeah,
$4
$4 for you
on
to
my
keep your
bills.
perks.
I'm like, wow.
So here's the problem with that, though, right? You're already paying more than the new plan, and now you got a perk on top of that, extra four on top of that. So you
Right.
end up even more than the new plan with the perks because the top plan before was like $55 with the auto pay on 4 lines. The new not considering the ultimate, but the new plan that you can just add perks to, which is like 45 with 4 lines. So if you drop from Get More down to the what's it now? Okay, what's it called?
Well, not
Have
the
it on my
welcome. It's something
no, it's
else.
not welcome. Up from that.
Unlimited. I forget the name
Yes,
of it.
it's unlimited. It's unlimited, whatever. But the difference between them plans with autopay is $10 already. So you mean to
Yeah,
tell me the people on the old plans are already paying $10 more because they have the perks, but then you also add $4 on top of this, so it's really $14 more for the old customer. I.e., you're paying for your perks. You
yeah.
see,
I'm
it's
paying
just no
for them.
different. All that fee did was align you with the new plans to a certain extent.
Shame.
$14, dog.
You save nothing. I tell you, nothing.
And then let alone let you not care about one of the perks. You're in even deeper hole with the old plan. At least on the new plan, you can just ditch all the perks and then just choose to pay for them outside of Verizon if
That's
you don't
true.
want both. It's a double-edged sword, man.
But the thing is like competition inherently good. Look, let me say it like this: good competition inherently drives better business practices because consumers are going to start making choices. You know what I mean? Like you saw kind of a mass exodus over the last couple of years from Verizon because people inherently got tired of paying high prices.
Well,
And
let's
I
be
think
real too. A lot of them people like ultimately didn't need the phone plans they were in. The perks didn't matter. So a lot of
true.
people try to make it sound like people were just leaving because they didn't want perks. They were so-called being forced into plans with perks. That's not really accurate. The truth is those people didn't even need the plans without the perks because they were not
Yeah.
using the data anyway. So
Hey,
the
my
perks
thing
is
is
small.
my thing is they should have just went ahead and did this in the first place. Like they used the perks to get you coming to the door.
Yeah.
The perks were to get you into the store. It wasn't never designed around trying to make you make you feel good. It was just like, oh, I can get Netflix. Oh, I can get Hulu. I can get Apple Music. Well, I already have an Apple device. Let me go ahead and get Apple Music too.
Yeah.
It's part of the plan. I might as well enjoy it. But hey, look, I think I do me personally. I do like to pay attention to what's going on. I don't speak too much about it too much, but I do speed testing on my channel pertaining. Like, I want to see what the coverage looks like nationwide, and that's the reason why I've been trying to travel around more. I think I want to go to Atlantic City, not Atlantic. I want to go to Atlantic City next, and then West Virginia. I want to
You
see what
need
it
to
looked like.
you need to come
Huh?
to Atlanta, man.
Hey, man! Look. When the channel gets monetized, dog, I'm gonna take a tour. Understand? But it costs money, man. What? You're not gonna let me sleep in your apartment, are you? Hey, if you're gonna let me do that, my wife gonna be like, "Hey, you going for free? That go. Have a nice day." You gonna go speed test in Atlanta? Good. It
Well,
don't
you know
cost
what
a dime. Fine.
you know what speed tests are at this point.
What are they?
All speed tests are at this point is a sign of whether they've updated the network in that spot or not. Not really a sign of how it performs. It's a sign of whether it's updated or not. That's really what it comes down to.
Yeah, but hey,
That's
we are
biggest
seeing
piece of
Verizon
information.
not performing good.
I understand that, but that's not the biggest piece of information. Is the point I'm making. It's
So
okay. Think about it. Is it more important that they have more capacity there, even if it ain't perfect, versus not having it, or is it more important how fast it is? You see what I'm getting at?
right,
I think it's more important that they have capacity at all, regardless of how it performs. It's still better than what it
that's true.
was. So
Hey,
the
look, you know,
biggest
when
use
you're near a
is
football
that.
stadium and you only getting 20 and 30, that's not enough capacity.
Not necessarily. It is for most people because you can watch YouTube, Netflix, you can go on Facebook with that, you can do all these things.
Yeah, but at a football stadium,
If you're there and there's freaking 600, there's freaking 30, 40, 50,000 people and you getting 20, sir, that is okay because you used to only get 20 on an unloaded site with nobody there.
no. But what I'm
Okay.
saying is it's 20 on non-game day. What is now?
You can
Granted, like
still use the network, is the point. If
true.
people, Keon, people who are not you, they're only going to be worried about that speed when they're video buffers. Otherwise, it's irrelevant to them at that moment. During game day, well, then that's a game day problem. You just said it earlier too. Why would anybody want to invest for something that ain't gonna never be used?
That's true.
You
That's
said it
true.
earlier, and you see, of course, we want them to invest as the consumers, right? But for them, they don't benefit Verizon.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
We have to be. We
I
have to
mean,
be real.
but like you know what? And I'm probably gonna do again next football season is because in this area, T-Mobile should have majority of the network up. But I did a comparison test where I went on the FedEx Field or near the FedEx Field campus, and I did a test, and I wanted to see how much capacity was there. But then on game day, game night, or it was Monday night football. I went back and I got as close to the stadium as I could, and they all sucked.
Yeah.
I mean, all of them. I mean, there was barely any data being able I could pull from it. So that's why I'm like, I want to see how much difference it has. They improved, or is there any major improvements?
Yeah.
Or
Understood.
that's what I'm looking. I'm trying to look for because if you do have 800 megabits per second in an area, then that is for coverage. I mean, that's not for coverage. That's for capacity. And then when game day comes, you're down to 300 or 200 or 100. That means that was a good investment. But if you
So
are
did
sitting at, but if you're sitting at 20 at the edge of the stadium, knowing that you're like some of these sites are going to pull from, like people sitting in the stadium are going to pull from sites in the surrounding area, and you're only doing 20, 30, 40, what's going to happen on game day? You're going to be non-existent. That's kind of what I'm trying to figure out is that exactly what's going on? Is that exactly what's happening? You see what I'm saying?
Hey, Keon, in case you do want to
Yeah.
know, my lunchtime at school is
Yeah.
basically an event for Verizon because that band 13 small cell, man, oh my God. It doesn't take a speed test to realize that your data doesn't work, by the way.
Oh
Yeah.
Lord. But
So what?
understand, I
Guess
mean,
what? A site in that location that only does 120 is still a massive upgrade.
Yeah, exactly.
that's true.
But
But
yeah,
hey,
that's
Well,
terrible though.
I do agree with you to a certain extent. I think that consumers want to know what I feel like consumers want to know what they're paying for. If
Yeah.
somebody says that, oh well, I'm walking to, of course you're gonna walk into a store to a sales rep, and they're gonna sell you a bill of goods. Like even though remember you told me about the Verizon store in that little town, but as soon as you walk out of the store, it don't work. Like, hey, can you go 4 blocks to the left and
Oh, it don't work.
activate your phone?
No, it don't even work in the store, sir.
Oh God! See, that's what I'm saying. Like,
You
how
can't
do you
even
supposed to
activate
convince?
Verizon inside the Verizon store.
How do you supposed to convince
Oh
somebody?
no.
And this store is not in rural. It's literally a quarter mile from a shopping mall. Okay.
Oh,
I'm just
but that's
saying.
what I'm saying is, of course, like the sales reps are not going to tell you the truth. They're
Oh
going to
no,
say,
the one
hey,
hey, they told me the truth. They was like, yeah, homie, you got to connect to the Wi-Fi to activate. Straight up, straight up. You can tell he's been dealing with that all day. Man, you know you got to connect to the Wi-Fi to activate. Let me get you over here.
man. But hey, they can easily solve that problem and turn the cell phone store into a small cell.
But they haven't done it.
But that's what I'm saying. That's not pushing numbers. If it was
I see
pushing numbers,
T-Mobile.
they would have done it.
So
I see
sad.
T-Mobile stores have DAS systems inside their stores whenever there's like low service most of the time.
But you know
Yeah,
what it is
because
though? It's the
yeah.
same thing though. They tend to push that when they have their own fiber in the area. Verizon will neglect places where they don't have their own fiber. They will neglect them because obviously they don't want to pay. That's what I've
Mhm.
seen. All the
That's what it's.
stores that have great service that happens to be MCI near it, so they end up putting millimeter wave nodes on the roof, sometimes inside, sometimes right on the pole out in front.
But
Outside of
you know
that,
what? But
no
here's the
upgrades
thing.
for you.
But here's the thing. You're driving your customers to the arms of your competitors. Then at that point, and that's the pull. That's the push and pull. Remember we were talking the other night about Fortune 500 companies. They don't need your migrate, right? They go, all right. We're at our quarterly earnings, or we're coming to the end of our contract with such and such. Should we migrate over to somewhere else, or should we, do this? And it us entertain how many phones we can get, or how many lines are we going to get for our services, and whatever. And if somebody comes in and gives them the better deal, they're going to go with the better deal. That's how I look at it. But the thing is if you've been neglecting, areas where people need coverage, all because you don't have the correct assets in place, what are you going to do? How long is it going to be
Wait,
before the assets are in place?
they'll wait 5 years if they have to before they show up. That's what they'll do.
Hey, just like, remember, you just said that T-Mobile was using satellite for coverage. Hey,
Exactly.
Verizon need to go ahead and put coverage in that area. Price be damned, because people need the service. Go ahead and build it. But they're being cheap too. So cheapness is all around.
Like I said, it goes back to when you're the only player, you don't have to be great. You just have to show up. And that's what Verizon did for so
Yeah,
many
true.
years. They just showed up because they didn't have to be great. And they've gotten away with it for a very long time.
That's true. But hey, look, I got another story I wanted to speak on. No radio. As we have entered into the AI future, guess what the casualty of war is for AI?
Continue, sir.
Electricity.
What about? You're talking about how they sucking up all the juice. We already knew this. Yeah, Google. I know they reported
Yo,
this like early last year. They were using more power than some
so
countries on
ChatGPT,
AI compute.
they said ChatGPT uses 17,000 times the amount of electricity the average U.S. home does in daily report.
Which is
Dog,
the reason why it's a dumb freaking product.
look, the way I can tell you, companies look at this from a different standpoint. Like, the standpoint is this: do you pay the electric bill, or do you pay people? Which one is cheaper? And right now, it looks like ChatGPT is cheaper. They'd rather pay higher power if they could just get rid of people.
Yeah, but the truth is, the companies ain't even really using Chat GPT yet. Major
Not
industry
yet,
isn't.
but I mean, if look, you have some. Like, what was it? I saw an article where they were talking about like a lawyer, a law firm clerk used Chat GPT, but it was so bad that it got thrown out of court because the rule, like
Yes,
because a lot of the terminologies were bad. The instances of certain law cases that were using for references were bad. I was like,
yeah.
golly, but the thing is, you see, they're trying to use it.
I could have told you this. Yeah, they're trying, but it ain't really working out because there's intricacies that dealing with humans, i.e., law, dealing with humans, a computer will never understand. There are certain intricacies to that, and that's how you'll make mistakes. Because, say, for example, a person. Think about this, right? Imagine Chat GPT was just monitoring a meeting, right, with a client,
Yeah.
and that person was speaking sarcastically. Chat GPT over here too dumb to realize they're being sarcastic and puts it in as solid information.
Huh.
Next thing you know, you in court looking stupid.
But you know
See,
what?
see the problem.
But that's one of the things about, like, especially like if you're gonna argue or do debates. Like if you're gonna have a debate with somebody, there's a little level of nuance. Like either you're gonna take me fully seriously, or sometimes I got to use examples of something drastic or semi-drastic to get a point across, right?
Yeah,
But the computer's not gonna understand sarcasm because
exactly.
sarcasm sounds too real. You know, hey, what happens if I decide to want to derail a train? Oh, he wants to commit fraudulent charges. Sir, that's not what I meant. No, that's what ChatGPT said.
Yeah, so there's too
But
many nuances to that.
yeah, it's too many
But
nuances to come to this. Especially, man, the English language it's too complicated.
and remember, like most of like stuff in legal stuff, there's a lot of mental games going on there too. When you're trying to get testimony or information out of somebody, lawyers play mental games with people. A machine ain't
Yeah,
gonna understand that. Not now anyway. Not in this age. Not yet.
right.
And that's why I say a lot of that stuff is gonna run to a lot of walls. All a machine can do is stuff like, hey, give me every instance that a case like this occurred.
Yeah.
But guess
Oh,
what? There's still a
super
person
search.
asking for that. There's still a person asking for that though.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be along the lines of like super search. Like,
I doubt
I can
some
aggregate
lawyer
a
is
lot of
letting
data
Chat
very
GPT
fast.
open a statement. I doubt any lawyer is letting Chat GPT write his opening statement.
Yeah. Oh no, no. But you know what? But guess what? You know who is trying to do it?
They're trying.
High school kids, high school and college
They,
kids.
they trying and they getting
They're
busted too
trying,
because
and they
now they
get
got
yes.
tools. The teachers have tools now to catch it.
Hey,
I forgot where it was I saw, but it was like the teacher was like, "Yeah, I know you pulled that from Chat GPT. I put it in
yeah.
the system here."
Yeah,
No,
an
bro.
AI detector.
Hey,
So
but that's the thing. Like we already know that it's going to be used. The problem is if it's already using a major amount of power at this scale, what's going to happen when they try to scale it up? Like it's not scaling properly.
they're gonna spend
There's no,
20 years to stay doing the same thing they've been doing with these electric cars, trying to figure out how to get more range
oh no,
out of
radio. See, I wasn't trying to go
them.
down that road with
I'm
you.
just saying, it's in the early days. That's basically all I'm saying,
That's
bro.
true.
Uh,
I just think that
uh,
especially right now, I don't see a purpose of it except for just like what I call hyper search. Like I can ask Google something and Google will understand the nuance. I don't have to do what the early day. Remember the early days you had to kind of do like semicolons and stuff behind it to signify what you meant, what you actually meant, and all that stuff. Google kind of just does it through natural language. It's like I can say, hey, look, what what is the meaning of life? And it will go and find somewhere where it was written saying that this is what the meaning of life. But 20 years ago, when the internet was early days, you had to like ask Jeeves. Yes, that's how old I am, people. Ask Jeeves. Um, to go in and you had to be like, what is the meaning of life pertaining to this, and this? So you had to get super specific for it to find the search. Like that's how crazy it is. Now you can just be real nuanced with your ass. You don't have to have a whole lot of thought put behind it.
With Chat GPT, it be gossiping too. I forgot where I was. I was watching some YouTube
Uh-oh, he faded away.
channel is name of the channel
Damn.
is it's like coffee breakers. And the guy was like, "Yo, let me ask let me ask the AI." And then the AI first gives him the actual factual information, and then proceeds
Uh-huh.
to throw all kind of gossip into the story.
Oh
And
wow.
it's like according to Shade Room, it was lying. Like it's literally becoming like a ratchet, uneducated person because it's trying to mimic humans, and
Oh
humans are ratchet,
Lord.
uneducated beings. It's slowly
it's the
becoming
Siri it's
dumb.
the Siri effect.
It's becoming dumber, not
It's
smarter.
literally the Siri effect. The reason why Siri on iPhones never grew past anything is because people treat it like a kid. They were like, "Do you love me? Yes, I love you. Will you marry me?"
Make a phone
And then
call
I
real
just say
quick. I'll be
it
back.
is no, and every people with, and the thing is people with freaking iPhones don't really use Siri in a sophisticated way that I've ever seen. I have the phone. I have an iPhone. I would never do the same type of search terms or use voice search on Google that I do on Siri. I don't know. Hey, Tech, you have an iPhone, right?
Yep.
How often do you
Uh,
use the
well,
beautiful Siri?
well, you can say I have iPhone, I have a HomePod Mini, I have my MacBook with me with Siri. They all have Siri, so
Yeah, and how often do
uh,
you use it?
come around the ecosystem. How long?
Well,
The
here you
only
go. Here you
thing I
go.
use it for,
Outside of your home automation.
I don't know. I just tell it to play music on Pandora. That's all.
That's it.
Or just tell, oh, play this song on Apple Music or whatever. But my Apple Music is about to expire anyway, so I'm not
Man,
going to be using that any longer.
what? You're not renewing that?
No, I don't have any use for it.
Man, music is life, bro.
I use
Uh,
Pandora, man.
no radio would literally whoop you for saying that.
I use Pandora more because it actually matches what I actually look for. Spotify
Yeah.
doesn't.
Does Pandora still do what is it? It allow only like 6 or 7 skips?
6 or 7. No, well, actually, they have that limit still, but now it lets you. It says watch an ad, and they give you more skips. Like you can keep watching ads, and they'll still keep on giving you skips.
Oh wow.
And
They addify the skips. Dang.
but the thing is, Keon, Pandora added that you can search up a song and play whatever song you want. You just press on it. It makes you watch an ad. And then for like an hour to 40 minutes, it will literally give you that time with no ads at all. You can choose whatever song you want for free, literally.
Mm,
If I was on Spotify on the free version, it would only give me those little few skips, and that's it.
right. Man,
So
hey look,
like,
hey, no radio. I don't know if you can hear me, but here's another person who has Apple Music getting ready to get rid of it.
Oh yeah, I've been done with Apple Music, son.
the only reason I had Apple Music is because of the trial. I don't really use it for anything though. Even if I had it, like, let's just say last year, for example, I had it for literally like 6 months, but I never used it.
Hey, bro, you must don't like music because there's no way in the world I'm not going to use my app that I pay for or whatever for pay for 6 months of usage and not use it. I'm
Because
not that
it,
bad.
because I would rather use a system that actually throws music at me that's actually relevant to me versus it just pushing me from one song to another.
Yep.
Well, see, but hey, that's
Apple,
AI. That's AI too.
yeah, Apple plays the popularity game. They
Yeah,
don't
Apple.
do they don't do algorithmic music selection. And if they do, if they call what they're doing algorithmic, they're
That's
terrible
a
at it.
lie. It's bad.
Even Spotify, that's just meant like to like
Hey,
play
look, look, look.
playlists and whatever is a lot better on
They
relevance versus that.
they mix Bad Bunny with Usher, and not a fast paced Usher song either. It was like baby making music Usher with
Yeah,
Bad Bunny.
that ain't
I'm
even
like,
close together. If you was mid stroke, your girl would have dried up right then. You know what I'm saying? Hey, bro, in my younger days, man, I had plenty of rhythmic love making sessions going
hey
down. That
man,
would have messed the whole rhythm up,
that messed up the groove. That's the call. They call it
bro.
the groove.
Bro, you remember that song? That was that song when they were. It was like Montel Jordan. Let's
Yeah.
go somewhere and get it. You know
It's
that
on
joint.
tonight.
All right. So imagine. You know, you right into the middle of the R man. Ain't gonna say his
Yeah.
full name, and it's a slow jam, and out of nowhere that come on,
Oh,
and you know if you got any kind of rhythm in your DNA, you can't help but start moving to that beat.
that's true. That's
It'll
true.
ruin the whole love making session.
Uh, hey, look,
Oh,
look. That's
If
why
you
you
and the
had
girl
play.
start laughing immediately
Yeah.
when you change rhythms.
Hey, look. That's the reason why. That's the reason why you created your old playlist. That way you don't mess up you don't mess up the groove.
Hey, you got to realize though, this is pre music streaming being big. What I'm talking
Yeah.
about. So
I'm talking
Apple
about
has
you made
taken
your
us back.
own. You made your own. What do you think making mixtapes was for?
Bro, I was crib. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have the whole thing lined up. You know, I tripped and
Radio.
fell in. You did.
Hey man, understand something. You know, you always look. There was two things you kept on you all the time: your pocket protection, which if I have to tell you what it was, you kept it in your wallet for a while, and the mix CD for slow jams. Those two were the two things you drove around with in your car all the time. Not sometimes, all the time. I kept those two. If you know how when you had the book of CDs, that one set on the top. That way I could flip straight to it. I knew exactly where it was, right there.
There you go.
I didn't have to go search for it.
You're good this way. Yeah.
my two top apps though for music in general is YouTube Music and Pandora because
See, you know
I don't
what?
know for some
And
reason my
YouTube,
music is
YouTube,
typically oh there you go.
YouTube, and Pandora, I think have the better algorithms when it comes to music.
Yeah,
Pandora has been in the game a lot longer than even Apple and Google, but Google is number one, and I would think Pandora is number two.
yeah,
What
for
Apple
sure.
need to do is buy Pandora. That's it. Holiday,
No,
you go ahead and buy
hell
Pandora
no. They would probably
because,
ruin the algorithm.
but they don't have it. They don't have any music suggestibility. They need an AI version of music. They
I don't
need it.
know. YouTube Music really like for me, if they were to
Yes.
actually acquire Pandora, I would not probably like it that much, just because of the reason that they don't know how to mess with it. So like even if they try to, like they're probably not gonna make it any better at all.
And he said,
Well,
"Ain't no hope for him."
hey, look. I just saying something. Yeah, Apple needs a jump off, and pretty much they jumped off the cliff and then they didn't land very well. So they need to come back up and grab one to have a parachute. That's the problem.
Literally,
Look.
if I had anything to compare Apple Music to, it would be the title.
I have not used Title. So I don't know what
The
the
the re,
recommendation
the re,
engine for Title is.
the relevance on there is garbage too. It's literally the same thing. It's just higher quality audio, basically.
No, but it's popularity. It's probably designed around the same thing. You don't want to put a lot of emphasis on trying to computer generate what people really like. So what you
Yeah.
do is you make it up by what's popular, what's popping up in the club, what's looking good on the street. You know what I mean?
Man, they
Yeah,
ain't even doing that.
I'm not
They
sure if you have
literally just
ran.
playing. They're literally just playing whatever record label is advertising the hardest on the artist.
Yeah, there you go.
That's
I
me.
don't. I'm not sure if you guys have ran across this, but I also noticed that Pandora and YouTube Music, at least for me, for the music that I look for, that those two apps literally have songs that Apple Music does not have somehow,
Oh yes,
nor
absolutely.
Spotify.
Because you
Yeah,
know what?
correct.
Sometimes the agreements are different. So they might slightly be different across. Like all of them pretty much have the same music catalogs, except for maybe somebody might get a special book, or let's say Taylor Swift is not liking Apple this month, so you'll get more Taylor on YouTube Music. You see what I'm saying? So it comes down to the contracts. That's how I
Yeah,
look at it, anyway.
yeah, it's weird.
It is weird. I mean, you would think that they would have all of it have be the same, but here's the thing. YouTube, claim to fame is the fact that they do music videos. So if a lot of these artists do music videos first, well, guess what? It pops up on YouTube Music first, because not only the
Hmm.
song pops up, but the music
That is
video too.
true. That's true.
So it'll take time before Apple ends up getting it, and Tidal probably will take some time depending on what their relationship is. But unless you're, Jay Z and Beyonce, and you decide to release your whole album on Tidal first.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would just find it funny that these AIs are becoming very power hungry.
Wait, but doesn't
Let's
doesn't Spotify have like an AI system now that they access paid access or some stuff like that? So like Spotify
um
DJ or whatever. Isn't that AI also?
probably is here you go. The best way I could tell you is like you said that do you have Spotify too?
I have it, but I don't have paid version, so I can't access it. But
I will tell you this: the best way that I can tell if Spotify is pretty good is do a search, and if it gives you a search of pretty much like a customer in my car noticed that he did a search, but then all the songs that were hot for 3 years around that song popped up.
hmm,
So all for so a song that was hot one summer, a summer prior to that sounded something similar would pop up, and a year behind it popped up also. You're like, yo, this is taking me back. Oh, that's 10 years span right there.
yeah, makes
But
sense.
that's AI done right. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It didn't
exactly.
go. It didn't go and grab you know African reggaeton and threw it in there when I'm looking for R&B.
Yeah,
Yeah, it wants you to like Bad Bunny so bad, even though you don't care about Bad
Right.
Bunny.
Oh
It's
God,
like
dude.
dude, just because he gets pushed everywhere doesn't mean everybody likes him. And that's the problem.
Hey, then
he's
or getting
overrated.
put, or you end up getting pushed 21 Savage all over the place.
That's
You're like,
like
oh God,
look,
dude, go away.
that's like Kanye West clothes and shoes. Most people think that stuff looks insane, but followers will wear it just so they can say they have money.
Yeah. Hey, do you
See,
remember
look at
what was
me,
it?
I got money. I look like a clown, but I got money.
Ain't no radio. What about that cancel court? He was remember what he said? He
Yeah, he
was
said
like,
Kanye ain't crazy. Y'all crazy.
Y'all crazy.
He said Kanye got good
Y'all
sense.
keep
Y'all
buying his
idiots
stuff.
bought them shoes.
I've seen people with those shoes on, and I just go, what were you thinking?
Yeah, Kanye ain't the crazy one. The people buying his stuff is crazy. Facts.
Hey, but that's what it is, man. I just think that when AI is done, I'm not gonna say right. I say when AI is gaining its perfection and getting closer to what is when you don't skip a lot. Like if you do a search and you got to skip all over the place, the AI is no good. I've literally just like I might skip a couple songs because I've already heard it, but not because I wouldn't listen to it. Is I want to hear something else. But if you go, well, I don't like that song. I don't like that
Oh,
song. I don't like that song.
oh, by the way, talking about that specific thing, also, now you gave me just another reason just to say that Pandora is a little bit better than YouTube Music in one way.
Uh huh.
That when you skip a song or you're constantly skipping, it won't repeat that song until the next maybe 3 hours, unless you dislike it, obviously. So like,
Yeah.
there's a timestamp that I will give you that it won't play the song until how many ever hours. I don't know. It's probably like 2 to 3 hours. I've noticed. So like,
Well,
if you're
the thing that
constantly skipping, it won't repeat the song like YouTube Music will. Like, it will just start throwing you back again with the music that you already played a few minutes
yeah.
ago or something like that.
But you know what? The thing
But
is, you got to think. Yeah, the Pandora's business model is revolves around skipping. So, like you said, that they offer you more skips the more ads you watch. So, if
yeah,
you're
that
constantly
too.
skipping, that means you're not having a good experience. So that's a signal that you can actually look, you can glean from, and to be able to give better suggestions.
Because I know that YouTube Music just kind of does it in a way where it just replays the song over and over again.
Oh yeah. But I mean, look, you can't keep hitting the skip button. Says a lot about like their ability to tune their algorithm. The more like
Yeah,
when you get
exactly. And what you,
when you get to the place where somebody suggests something they don't skip at all, your algorithm hit perfection for at least that moment. You go, ooh, I think
Mhm.
we onto something. Let's try it. Let's try it again. Can we catch lightning in a bottle twice?
Yeah, we'll start just building the puzzle pieces from there.
Oh yeah, like
I'm
because
a
I
I
don't.
have Pandora Plus, so I get the skip unlimited. No, like I can just skip whatever I can. I just press the skip button and then
I like to
yeah, I
first
just
say
go
that I
off my
didn't think that Pandora still was on the chopping on the board, but
It's still the
apparently,
number one free service, I would say. It's probably the number one free service.
yeah.
but I didn't think that it still made it.
Well, it's the casual listener. The casual listener is the Pandora user. My wife is a Pandora user.
Oh
She's a casual
Hey,
listener.
Kia, I'm also
yeah.
glad to say that Pandora still works on the iPhone 2G, by the way. So when I ran that thing on Edge, it worked perfectly fine.
Wow, that's crazy.
20, was it 5 kilobits a second?
I don't know, but I think it was running fine. It was running like a regular phone today. I don't know what the audio quality was
We
supposed
know.
to be
Hey,
like, but it
what
ran pretty
the
nicely, I will
the
say.
question is you must have been on Wi-Fi,
No,
and
I
there's no way
actually
to.
was. I was using Edge, man. I think it was slow as hell, but it still worked somehow. It was actually running pretty good, like a phone today.
Oh wow.
Like the music almost loaded even instant, like probably like 5 to 10 second buffer maybe in between the songs, but that was still pretty fast considering how slow it was.
Right. Well, hey, look, you know what? Speaking of outdated technologies or future technologies on top of that, here you go. So, no radio. How you feel if you was in and I think that Europe, and this is a little bit of a transition. I think what happens in Europe happens in America eventually, and we're gonna start seeing more buttons in cars.
Buttons and cars.
Yeah, because right now I drive a Tesla, ain't got no freaking buttons, or they're trying to get rid of them.
Well, that's one of the complaints we made about Teslas. They
Yeah,
don't feel premium because of the lack of buttons. The
that's
interiors
true.
look cheaper because there's literally like nothing going on inside of those cars.
It's a cubicle on wheels, sir. It's a cubicle on, and that coin that's from a customer of mine's who told me that.
Yeah.
Well,
Because
also,
and the
Keon,
thing is, go ahead.
there's another thing too. Europe has more restrictions than we do, so if you notice, we can bring into relevance how McDonald's works in Europe and not here.
Hey, because they know McDonald's is trying to kill you. They just not that Europe is not going to let it happen.
Yeah, they literally have more restrictions. As you see, they tried to push third-party app stores over there or side loading in Europe and here.
Oh, that's another thing. Oh,
Yeah,
speak. Hey,
there's so many
kind of on a
things.
side
Even
on a little bit of a side tangent. Epic Game Store got shut down and then reinstated because obviously Apple doesn't like Epic. So they
Yeah, they
canceled
tried
their.
canceling them. Yeah,
They tried to cancel it. Then Epic ran to the EU. Was like, look what Apple's doing. And like, we already reinstated you.
yeah. As you see,
Apple is the ultimate troll, dogs.
the EU is the one pushing everything that's going on around the world, but not
Yeah.
really like some things that just don't come to safety or other health things
Oh,
doesn't seem to be happening
you'll
here.
love this though. You'll love this. If you're in Europe and you have the apps like that secondary app store, as soon as you leave Europe, your app store stops working.
Yep.
Yeah, I bet.
Your app store stops working. I'm like, that is petty. That is just a petty company.
Well, all we're waiting on now is the U.S. to join in and get rid of
But
that.
you know they're not gonna do that.
See, because
Not yet, but
they're obligated to
enough
do things
pressure.
in Europe and not here.
Yeah, but with enough, I understand that. But what I'm saying is, if we begin to follow Europe on these things,
Look, man, what I have noticed, and this is like I said, especially with some of these companies, is they're gonna keep doing what they're doing until somebody tell them stop.
Yeah, exactly.
And right now, Apple's not gonna do. Look, Apple being the predominant phone in America right now, do you honestly think they're gonna allow somebody to derail their grand plan, which is not to play well with anybody? That's Apple's whole game plan. Don't play nice with anybody.
Let's be honest about this. The only reason Apple has USB-C right now is literally because of the EU.
Because
Because if it wasn't for that,
exactly,
they would have been
it wasn't
doing the
it wasn't
lightning port
kindness
as
of their
usual.
heart.
Yeah,
that's what I'm
exactly.
getting at. You just wait until enough pressure shows, and they be like, "Wait a minute, why's the EU getting that? Apple's made in America, and we don't even have freedom. The EU got more freedom than we do."
Man, Apple gonna show up with the dollars and be like,
into them.
"Hey, look, Apple gonna show up in the lobbyists and go, hey man, you ain't gonna forget about this subject."
But that's when you need an uneducated right winger to come say some crazy stuff. That's when you need them, Keon. They go,
hey man,
said their
they're
phone
not
repair people are
uneducated.
installing TikTok on your phone.
Oh,
the idiot said,
Lord.
That guy said, phone repair shops, they'll install TikTok on your phone. Why in the heck would a phone repair shop need to install TikTok on your phone?
Oh,
It is an idiot. But you need an idiot like that when we want to get an unlocked app store. That's when you need an idiot like that.
You know, our government right now is attacking the drones, the DJI drones, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they went back to attacking TikTok.
Doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Our own government is attacking. Like DJI is a very big brand.
You know what a comedian said? I was laughing at. He said, y'all let that Chinese thing fly all up and through here, but you about to stop us from flying.
Oh, that's a good point.
Hey, the man's right.
That's a good point.
What competitor here compares to DJI? First of all, because I have not seen any drone compared to those.
From what I understand, it's not just DJI; it's everybody. They're trying to stop every drone, not just DJI.
It's just another like we fear something we don't understand. Oh man, you know that thing like peeking into your window. Man, somebody can just put a ladder up. We gonna ban ladders too, because somebody can do that too.
I don't know, man, but I mean, the tiny drones don't seem to be affected yet.
Who?
And that comes from a company that they called shady, accordingly.
Oh, you're missing the point. Remember, these people are not educated. DJI is the most popular, so of course they know about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like the Apple Music algorithm. It just gives you what's popular. They don't know everything.
They have no idea.
Yeah,
they're just attacking DJI because that's like if I go to an old person and hand them a Samsung Galaxy Tab, they'll call it an iPad. Okay, it's the same problem. Everything's an iPad. Okay.
Oh, hey, nobody else. I have a big, gigantic tablet in my car. Okay, and the first thing, oh man, look, this is a nice iPad. Everything's not an iPad.
People don't know because they're special.
Everything is not an iPad. What is
in America? Everything is a brand. There is no such thing as like a thing. Everything is a brand.
We hurry up and turn it into a verb real fast. Like
Yeah,
understand,
exactly.
ride share became Uber. Like, oh, I'm Ubering over here. I'm Ubering there. I'm Uber. Same thing with Apple,
Exactly.
iPad. Anything with a screen you can touch, iPad. Oh, remember, Droid. Everything that was Android was a Droid. Not even though Droid was a Verizon brand.
Motorola.
Everything
Yeah.
became Droid.
Yep.
Anything
So,
running Android is an Android.
but that's not how they look at it. People call my folding phone iPhone until I tell them, "Oh, is that an iPhone?" Like, no. Who was the last time you saw iPhones with a gigantic screen?
That's my point. They don't know.
Like
Which is,
you,
and
it's
we got,
like,
and those are the same old out of touch people who are running our government.
oh, yay, yay. But yeah, hey, look, the same thing with like these cars, man. Like, people do equate premium to buttons, knobs, and gadgets in cars.
Yes.
I
Yes.
mean, like you can't get no more gadgety than like a Mercedes Benz or BMW. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And people are leaving Tesla and going to those. They're still doing the electric car. They're just going to those car companies for electric vehicles. They're like, yo, I like my car being a car.
It's like more effort was put into the vehicle, man.
Yeah.
Just those premium.
But so now with this, they're talking about like you won't be able to earn at least in Europe. This might filter over here. They said that you can't earn your 5-star safety rating without buttons and knobs now. And I can see why. Like, yo, especially when in my car, guess what? The windshield wipers don't work properly. So for me to turn them down, I have to fumble with the screen while driving to get the to put them at the right speed. And the UI is buried 3 levels deep. Like, that's stupid. And then somebody said, "Oh, it has shortcuts." While I'm driving down the road and the windshield wiper is going crazy, I'm gonna let me pull over and let me deal with the shortcut. Yes,
Man, that's
that's the
like
reason why a lot of people crash their cars.
it's like making a UI system in an old iPad that barely works and putting it on your home as a smart home
Yeah,
device to turn on lights and turn off
yeah.
lights on that slow thing.
That's exactly how you're gonna equate it. But that's the thing. Like, I think that people want their cars to be cars. I think that there's a certain level of like what I expect technology to be, and with current technology now, like I didn't know that Volkswagen was trying to do the same thing as Tesla's doing, but it makes sense as a cost conserve point of view. It's cheaper to be able to put a screen in and throw everything behind the UI than it is to have like a car where you got to flip the dash for another country. You got cars that are made in America, but Tesla Dash can be made anywhere. It's just the screen in the middle. You just flip the UI. In the steering wheel. You put the steering wheel on the left, or you put the steering wheel on the right. But there's no hump. That hump where you normally would have the instrument cluster. It doesn't have one. So now, guess what? You can make the same dash and ship it anywhere.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be spent extra money for some little thing.
Right. And then, like,
To
just
curve
because
it here, curve it there, because that's what takes the most money and the most part, most things.
but it also makes the car feel like it's suited to you. But the thing is when I sit in my car, I see it as a mass produced like phone. I don't see a car. I just see like, yo, this vehicle is mass produced the cheapest way possible.
Mm-hmm.
Like anything that you could find that says, "Hey, cheap, we're gonna do this cheap." That's what they did. And
Imagine
I think,
it's an airplane and the pipe. You hear me? I'm breaking up.
oh, you break it up again. Are you flying over the tower this time?
Yeah, I'm in a valley.
Oh, the radio. You have to stand in front of the
How
tower
bad is it?
until it's a little choppy, a little choppy,
Oh, and he's gone. I
and then
think
he
he had to
dropped.
go. I think he had to go find himself a millimeter wave for to stand under.
Oh, but hey, look, the like I really do think that this is going to start filtering down because we're making cars too cheap now. Like take my Tesla for example. It doesn't have a sunshade. This thing got a big glass roof, big. People love it. They hop on. Oh man, I can look out the whole top of the roof. But on the first warm day of the year that I experienced this year, I thought I was being cooked from the inside. And it wasn't even that hot outside. It was like 70. It was like 70 degrees. I
Yeah,
swore it down. I thought it was
all the heat
90.
is still transmitted. Yeah.
It's transmitted straight through the car and it sits in there. And look, this is how crazy it is. If you roll down your windows in an electric car, you lose efficiency. So if I run the AC, I'm gonna lose efficiency. So I'm not gonna deal with the heat. That's crazy. So which one do I do? Do I lose efficiency because I want to stay cool from the outside air or from the car AC? All because the sun is literally just coming in and decide to sit on the back seat going, "Hey, what's up, buddy? How you doing? Nice to meet you." I'm gonna make it a little warm in here for you. All because the company didn't put a shade in. Like it could have been a manual shade, and I would have been fine with it. No, it's literally no shade. I gotta go find a third party to do it, which I don't know why these safety ratings don't add this stuff in. Creature comfort should be a star. You can't get a star rating without the creature comfort. I'm sorry.
hmm
That's how I look at it anyway. But let's see.
I mean, I kind of understand the point that they're trying to get into with the buttons and all that stuff. It's always been simpler in a way.
Well, here's the thing. When at what point is simple just too simple? Like I believe in keeping things simple. I don't believe in doing a lot of things simple though. You're doing it because it's a cost effective version of the alternative. That's how I
Yeah,
look at it.
but
Is
I kind of
you're
see
doing
it.
it. Go ahead.
I kind of see the safety side is a like, oh, your screen breaks or whatever, or the screen just stops functioning. Like the button, like it doesn't have a screen. It's just there as its little icon or whatever that they put on it, and people are able to use
Yeah.
it how they're supposed to. On the screen, if your screen blacks out or something happens to your screen out of the middle of nowhere unexpectedly, you can't access your screen. You can't access, let's just say, what if a door becomes attached to the screen otherwise? Like you have to
Right.
control the door through your screen. You can't.
What was it? I was talking to Brandon the other night, and they brought up the saying that somebody got locked inside their car because the battery completely died. So the doors didn't unlock, and nor could the windows
I
roll
had that
down.
too.
So my
Mhm.
thing is how did your car get so to the point that you couldn't operate it no more? You know,
Yeah.
my thing is as soon as my car start working, I'm getting out of the car. I'm not going to sit inside this vehicle. I'm not going to go. Oh, I wonder what's going to happen. But I can see why that becomes a problem because everything's hidden behind buttons and knobs. It's all buttons
Yeah.
or UI.
But I have a question since now you have a Tesla basically. What
Yeah.
happens if your screen stops working? And
Ooh.
and what would you lose basically in other words in the Tesla? Because that's another thing. You're gonna the first thing you're gonna lose is climate control.
You lose access to the climate control. So the screen is only a UI. A lot of the computer stuff is separate from the screen itself. So if the system's crash, the car just stopped. But there's reports where people were driving down the road and the screen just went out.
That's
They were
possible.
able to still put the car in drive, reverse. They were still able to drive
Yeah,
the car
I've
down the
seen
road, but
videos of that.
you can't see how fast you're going. You don't know what your speed is as you're traveling, and I think that's a problem too because there's no redundancy. If
Hmm.
if your infotainment system went out, you still had your instrument cluster in front of you. But the way that Tesla's done the Model 3 and the Model Y is everything goes to that screen. So the reliability of that screen has to be super duper high. And what you're supposed to do is pull off and reset the whole car. That's what
Yeah,
you're
so let's
supposed
just
to
say
do.
let's just say your screen breaks or something. What would you personally lose out of it?
You will lose the ability to see how fast you're going. Everything else is almost irrelevant at that point. Is the operation of the vehicle is paramount. So I think that all the systems and everything will still come up, but understand, this is what I presume for it to be, because people were saying like the screens went out when they were traveling down the road at 70 miles an hour, but the car is still driving. You see what I'm saying? Like,
Hmm.
oh look, the screen went out, but the car is still moving. Well, that means that the computer is still on. It's just not showing anything. So, did you drop some water, or do you put a cup of water on your dash and it got into the screen? Like the monitors vent holes and it blacked your screen out. Like these things do matter.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I look at it anyway. But there's no telling exactly what the emergency procedure is going to end up being. I just think that there's not enough redundancy in Tesla vehicles. I haven't been in a Volkswagen, but I do feel like one screen that rules them all is a very stupid idea. It's a very stupid idea, but the thing is it's cheap to make.
Yeah. I mean, you would also take away the part that if your car somehow gets in a fault and that screen isn't working, how are you going to see what's going on with the car?
Then the first thing they tell you is like, oh, you should bring the car to us and let us diagnose it at
Yeah,
$150 every
that's
time you want to go.
that's just a way to make money. It's business.
It's always about making money, sir. It is never about convenience.
Mhm.
Never about convenience. But hey, I got one more story that I wanted to pull up. Look, you exist in the Apple universe. I exist in the Windows universe.
I don't
So
like the Windows universe. You can shove
what's
it.
wrong with Windows?
I don't like it. It's
What is
complicated.
wrong? Tell me what's wrong with Windows, sir.
Something always breaks an operating system for me.
Look. Windows has actually been very stable for a good while. Okay, you're not gonna don't sit out here and badmouth my operating system that I finally went back to after 5 and 6 years.
I mean, I will say it's not as bad as a Chromebook, yeah, but
Oh, dagger. Look. Chrome had promise. Google lacked vision and executability. Man, that's what that was. I still think that Chrome can still outdo Windows. It's just they just stopped developing. It's like they just don't want to. They don't want to proceed.
they gave up.
Which is another reason why I'm not liking Google right now, because things that I think they could actually dominate on, they just stop doing.
Hey, since now we're getting into that topic too, into the developing. Did you
Yeah.
hear about the AI, the new AI stuff for the phone on the Pixel 8 not being supported?
What?
Yeah, search
Wait.
it up. Search it up.
I missed this.
You
Do you
gotta
have the
search it up because
article?
I didn't put it in there. Let me look for it.
All right. So you saying that what the new AI from Google is not going to be in the Pixel phones?
Yeah, I see that it's hardware limited. So basically everything that the phone was supposed to get, it did not come up
Oh, they're probably doing a lot of offloading. Look,
here.
does anybody really believe that these AI systems are going to be able to run on your mobile chipset? Like even like it turns out even the early days for like Google Voice Assistant or like voice dictation had to work with a cell signal. If you lost a cell signal, guess what? It will stop working.
There you go. Sent it.
Oh, you put it in there? Hold on.
Yeah, just sent it in.
I'm pulling it up now. All right, hold up.
I'm not sure if the Pixel 8 Pro can, but the Pixel 8 isn't getting it. That's all I know. Oh, yeah, it says the
Google.
Pixel 8 Pro
So
can
Google
run it, but
says.
not the Pixel 8.
So Google says AI focused Pixel 8 can't run the latest smartphone AI models. See, that's what I'm saying. There's a limitation on how much on device a product can do. Like I equate it to this. You're younger than I am. I don't know about how much, but I'll say it like this: voice dictation on Android was all internet based until about 3 to 4 years ago. And then it was very small little things it could do without needing an internet connection. So they put the whole voice they shrunk their voice model down to be able to fit on the phone. And then now it can do multiple languages. It can do translate without an internet connection. So imagine how much it was doing
Wow.
through the cloud. You see what I'm saying? And that was just voice. That was taking your voice, translating to Spanish. Now it can do that. It could do that same translation on device from Spanish to English for you without needing an internet connection. Well, now you're talking about AI focused everything. It's not going to be able to do that on those mobile chips. I mean, the software would be your phone would sit there for 20 minutes trying to figure it out.
Yeah, from what the article is saying, it's wow. The RAM is the thing that's being highlighted on here. It seems like
Oh, if RAM is the limiting factor, that's always going to be a limiting factor because
runs himself.
I think Google phones only come with like 16 gigs of RAM now. And I think that you're probably going to need like 32 or 64
Wow.
gigs of RAM.
Yeah. So what I'm saying here, since the Pixel 8 runs 8 gigs of RAM and the Pixel Pro runs 12 gigs.
Yeah, see the amount of RAM that you need to buffer into memory
Look
to
at
be
that.
able to have it ready to use is too small.
The article is even saying that the Samsung is more efficient than Pixel phones. Oh, fuck.
But here's the thing: Samsung phones pack a lot of RAM in it.
Yeah,
Samsung packs more RAM in their phones than they do in Pixel phones.
if we're talking about RAM efficiency, iPhone is probably the most efficient either way. But
Yeah, but they're
I
not. But
mean,
here's the thing: they're not
Samsung and
trying to
Pixel.
run. But they're not trying to run AI centric products off of the device either.
Yeah,
I mean,
even if they did run it, though, they would be able to probably run it on a higher amount, but not completely like 12 gigs like Pixel is running on, probably because of how
well,
efficient they make their systems.
okay. It's not so much as the efficiency of the system; it's more along the lines of how small you can make the code.
No, that
So
too.
if the code is too big, it doesn't matter how efficient the system is; it won't be able to run. It can run it, but it's not. It's going to run it so slow that it's not going to matter. Put it like this: it's faster to go ping Google's network and get the query and come back to the phone than it is to process said information on the device. That lets you know how fast the networks are. It's faster for me to go out and outside the device to get the information and come back than it is to do the actual work on device.
Yeah.
Which, like I said, this goes back to the whole doing voice on your phone. The early days of voice dictation was always off device. You made it. Let's say you wanted to voice dictate something on through text message. You go, hey, how now, brown cow? It literally will take that voice and go up to the cloud, Google will translate it to how now brown cow and then throw it back onto your phone.
Hmm.
But it was faster to do it that way than to run it on device. Now you could go how now brown cow or supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, and it will do it in real time. It's as you're saying it, it's typing it out because that's how efficient they made the voice model to be able to fit on the device. AI is not there yet. I mean, like, what do you expect the AI to do? Do you want it to be super searchable? Do you want it to be, you know, trying to predict what you're going to do next? Those models are huge, and they require a
Yeah,
lot of memory.
I
They
wonder.
require a lot of memory.
I mean, Google has Gemini, right? But the thing, I mean, I'm looking at the article and it's saying here that that the S24 series is using Gemini Nano. So I
Yeah,
wonder if
a
it maybe
slim
they're
down
putting
version
more
of Gemini
features in.
is
Could be the
using
featuring that they're trying to put in.
right, but that's a slim down version of probably their largest product, and even then, it's probably only doing like basic stuff.
I mean, for me personally, I would probably say even if it's a little bit run down on the AI side, I would still try to put it on the Pixel 8 at least because it's the newest phone either way. But
Yeah, I think
the
that.
take on Google is just like, don't do it. It's just
Well,
doesn't make any sense.
I look at it like this: Google is actually like handicapping themselves right now. So like, I don't know if anybody else is going to agree with me on this one, but Google handicaps themselves like even with the Pixel line, so they don't step on the toes of Samsung because they see Samsung as their partner. So the
Yeah.
processors in the processors in their phones could be way better if they decided to want to compete against Samsung. But doing so steps on the toes of your ally or perceived ally.
I mean, Samsung does run half of their system like on Google
Oh
stuff.
yeah,
If you like
oh yeah.
run
Hey,
Play
do you
Store, all
do
this
you
other
do
stuff.
you think that new feature where you could just like circle something and it will identify it's a Samsung feature?
No.
Man, that's all Google backend, man. All of that's Google backend. The only thing Samsung's gonna do is try to figure out how to monetize it. They're gonna be like, "Oh, you want
Yeah.
access to that advanced search? Pay us."
In the end, Google does get paid a good fraction of what they make off of phones. So,
Yeah, Samsung makes a boatload of money off of Android, which a lot of people don't. I don't think a lot of people understand the love hate relationship that Samsung has with Google and vice versa.
yeah, I'm
Like,
wondering though, you know what I wonder though? Will
what's
it
that?
be, let's just see, you know how the S24 basically it's a 2 year free and then afterwards you got to pay for it, I think they said.
Yeah,
Will Google Pixel be the same in a way, or will they make a subscription to make it more advanced in a way? Because I saw that Google or on Gemini, there is a thing that says upgrade to Pro or something like that,
there's gonna be.
or get Google One that to like push the AI to the limits or whatever.
Well, here's the thing. This goes back to our previous story about like Chat GPT, right? Chat
Mm,
GPT is using a massive amount of electricity. Okay, somebody got to pay for that.
obviously.
Somebody got to pay for the juices being provided. So nothing in life is free. You got to give something to get something. So you sitting here wanting all these AI features, they give you a taste of it, but then when you start using it, man, they're gonna be like they're gonna be standing there with like a dope dealer. They're gonna be like, oh, so you need to use us again? Oh, well, we we got some more of this AI for you, but you got to give us a couple dollars to give the access it. They
Access
gotta
of
pay
pro
for it.
features. Hmm.
Oh yeah, look what Microsoft 360. You gotta pay for that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, look, the what we see in an AI right now is basically what they're trying to figure out a way to monetize it now. And Samsung's no different. Samsung's gonna try to figure out a way to monetize it. Google needs to monetize it because guess what? It costs them money to run those servers. Those servers
Mhm.
aren't cheap.
Yeah, we'll see what they do when they actually release it. It'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what's going to end up happening. I just think that um these full AI models are not going to run on the phone. Like Apple it's going to take Apple 10 years to finally put a semblance of AI on their phone. Even Siri, like I said, Siri doesn't benefit anybody because it's trying to run everything local. It will do a search. It will do a search for you, but it doesn't understand what you're trying to search for.
Yeah.
You could do it. You could test that up right now. Do hey S word. I don't want to wake my iPhone up. You like, hey S word. Give me the correlation between these two problems, and then it will be like, I found this on the web.
Hey, what you mean by that one? I mean, anything
I
that you
found this on the
ask
web.
outside of the phone, it will literally start. It will just literally throw out a Google search for something stupid at you.
Yeah,
Here's
but
what I
that's
found on the web,
but
and
it
it just
doesn't understand
puts a bunch of
nuance.
crap.
Like, I mean, Google is getting closer to understanding like intent in certain search queries, like what you're trying to look for. If you, I'm not saying you got to make your search simple, but you also got to make your search thought capable. You're not gonna be able to do that on an iPhone because it was like this is what I found on the web. Man,
Yeah,
now like
but
they
basically what they do is they're trying to summarize everything that's on the web. For the most part, I would like sometimes you'll go on. It's basically like saying, "Oh, to the AI, let's just say, read this article for me and summarize everything in other words."
yeah, but a lot of people don't want to read the whole article, which I think that's just
Yeah,
lazy at that point. You're taking
but
a computer's summarization
or
of something.
or you got the people that don't want to watch the video either. They'll literally
Right.
put in the link right there, and the AI will listen to everything, and then they'll just pull out a whole summary for you. You can even tell it because I have kind of messed around with it enough to know. You can
Uh-huh.
ask it, what questions should I be asking about this video? It will literally watch the video completely and it will throw out a few questions. So if AI does this, what like what will affect or what impact will it have on the human side or whatever, things like that. I'm not sure if you've
Well, see,
tried
here's
it
the
before
thing:
with a YouTube video, but
it's gonna try to understand what you're trying to do. But here's the thing: you said a whole lot of everything without saying anything. Also, because here's the thing: you have to first understand what the impact against human beings is, and what type of impact are you talking about? Are we talking about stump your toe impact, or are you talking about livelihood impact?
yeah, that too. I mean,
I mean, there's a big wide
you
range
should
of
play
what can
around with it a
impact a
little to
human
see.
being.
You should play around with that thing to see how it how it kind of makes you like think about things
Oh
sometimes.
yeah, hey, I tried out the what was it? I found an article and I tried it out like the dad jokes and stuff, and it would have like some of the corniest dad jokes you ever seen.
Hmm.
I mean, it's just weird, corny dad jokes that it will scrub the web for. It will go find dad jokes, and that's all it does. It'll go find some dad jokes on the web, and it fishes it back to you.
Yeah.
But if I said dad jokes pertaining to life, it will be like dad jokes with life in it, and it will show you every dad joke that has the word life in the joke.
Oh man. That.
But see, here's the thing: I said pertaining to life, not the word life.
I mean, it
These are
really
these
for I don't
these are
think
the
now.
biggest difference.
I don't know if it will do it now because I mean that thing is every time it just gets a little bit smarter and it actually starts gaining
Well,
potential.
well, here's the thing:
So
like me and No Radio have talked about this before. The AI learns back from
yeah,
being used.
exactly.
So the more
Yeah,
that you
exactly.
use it, the more it's learning about being used and how to formulate said search terms, or it's trying to defer or understand intent. Like, did you really mean and versus the? Was it should have been or versus this or that? It's trying to understand that. That's the reason why I said like Siri wasn't that good. It was never going to be good because it was trying to do everything on the phone without understanding what the world it was in.
Yeah.
Because not Google, Apple wasn't pulling data from the phone for the search for like the queries. Oh, what's the most popular thing that people are asking for? Oh, the time. Oh, hey, get better at telling people the time. Oh man, you know what? People want to know better how to make a paper plane. That's the top query. But that requires you to have data from everywhere to figure that out. Which is
Yeah. I
why
mean,
Google Assistant is way better than Siri is.
you can still kind of compare Siri to the old voice control that the iPhone 4s used to have
Oh, ooh.
in a way, because I mean, and not
No,
really
it
in a
wasn't
huge amount. Like it's a 50-50 because now you get actual results when it doesn't know what you're asking from Google. Compared to
right.
before, that thing would just be like, I don't understand or whatever. Like it would just start throwing out things that you just would be like, hmm.
It's a very tricky problem. Like I feel like Apple drove themselves into a brick wall on purpose by saying like
Yeah.
they wanted the we're more secure than our competitors. Okay, but your
Yeah,
phone is
because
dumber than everybody else's also.
there are a few options that usually would pop up saying like, "Oh, do you want to share voice recordings?" I'd probably like thinking about it. Most people would probably press no.
They will automatically press no. But the thing is that's the world we live in. Is that you got to ask for permission, then ask for forgiveness. If asking for permission will net you a better outcome, people still want you to ask their permission to do stuff. But
Yeah,
then, hey, if I'm doing a search, if I'm asking for a search, then I'm already giving my permission because I want the answer to that search. I want to know what is supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. That's what I want. And if you have to go search the web to go find it, go forth, understand more, go. But that's just kind of that's the problem we're in right now. AI on the Pixel 8 is not going to run on the phone, which I'm not surprised. Even though, with it being called Nano, that means the smallest version of their AI model cannot run on the phone.
yeah.
Come on, Nano. Shoot, the smallest version is probably the size of a data center still.
Hmm. Oh well, let's see what they pull up with. I mean, let's see what
True.
that Pixel 8 Pro can do because that will pretty much say what they can do and what they cannot.
That's true. True, true, true.
Well, what needs
But
to
hey,
happen is that someone actually needs to compare the AI on the Pixel to the S24 to actually see what the difference is.
that would be a great test. I would love to do that one if I had the money. I need the money. I don't even have the
Yeah.
first phone. But then you know what? Here's the thing. It's probably like even on the Samsung phone, it's probably going off device too. I seriously doubt that
Most likely.
any device is on device processing right now. And if it is, I
No, it's
mean,
not.
I
It shouldn't.
I don't. It's probably still using the cloud.
I mean, I'm expecting that because I mean, for now, I mean, every AI is still learning what people want to do with it. So
True.
it wouldn't make
I
sense to completely enclose it to the phone specifically right now, since it's basically still testing, in other words.
right. But here's the thing. I would trust Google with my data a whole lot faster than I would somebody else. Like ChatGPT, nah,
Yeah,
I'm good.
ChatGPT seems weird. I don't like it
I'm
too much.
good.
It
They got
sounds
too much
weird.
drama on their side. Their CEO left and came back and was voted back in by his peers and all this other stuff. Nah, I'm good. But the question at hand is how much data are you willing to give up to be able to find what you're looking for? Do you just want something that crawls the web and give you some generic answers and you got to go search around for it? Do you want the answer right now? Have you noticed in Google search that they do generative AI in the search terms now?
Yeah, I've used it.
See, so that's what I'm saying is they're since they're adding these search terms in and giving you nuance. Like, if I look up something, I go, hey, I had this on my mind. What is this? And it goes, hey, we think that this is what you're looking for. This is the top search, but this is our summary of what your search is too.
Yeah, because I do notice that sometimes when you search up things that probably no one has searched up before, it will say, "Oh, the AI is not available for this search or whatever."
Right. So, like I said, there's still limitations to search. Like, like I
Yeah,
said, intent and how you intend on using your search is hard to interpret. So, but hey, I wanna say thank you for coming by, man. The radio's phone lost radio.
so,
I know that he's gonna get me back for that one, but it was funny. No
yeah.
radio turned off. But hey, people, if you want to see videos about speed testing networks, I got a lot of those in different places. I'm still traveling around. I want to see different parts of the country. Right now, I'm kind of puttering around my own net backyard, different places, but I'm slowly branching out a little bit. So stay tuned. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Let me know how you feel about today's news articles, even the last one that we did about Google and AI. I think we did the last couple articles about AI. How do you feel about it? What do you think about it? I mean, this is going to end up being a growing segment because it's the new hot word, AI. Get used to it. Everything's going to be AI soon. Yeah, toilet AI is coming on. It's on the way. But Speed Tech, thank you for stopping by, sir.
No problem.
Greatly appreciate it. And
It's been a
thank
while
y'all
since
for
I've been on
watching.
here.
Oh yeah, it's been a minute. You need to come back on more. But y'all have a good one.